lesson is about selecting and using source material. Now, why is this extremely important? Because in my years of teaching, particularly since the syllabus changed, I have come across the view and I have come across points where students are prone to writing their own ideas more than the ideas given in the passage. I think this is a concern mainly most teachers have faced since the syllabus change has come out. I'm sure you guys understand that you're given two texts, right? You're given a text A and you guys are given a text B. And they very clearly tell you that you need to develop your answer using both texts. Isn't that the case? Right? That is the case, right? Do I make sense to all of you? I need a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Whatever you guys deem fit. Thumbs up or a thumbs down, okay? All right. Okay, good enough. So in this case, we'll understand how to actually use source material and how to go about it. So you read both texts, once for the argument and then again with the task in front of you. So you're doing reading twice at least, no matter what happens. Now on the second reading, mark only what serves your purpose. So understand the task at hand, understand what the task is asking of you, and whatever points relate to the idea of the text itself, the statement itself, only annotate those points. All right. Material that is interesting but irrelevant will cost you marks twice. It will end up in you losing marks. Not only will it take space from development, and it suggests you could not tell the difference, which means that generally speaking, my student could not do well in terms of understanding the content given. So if you end up writing each and everything that you see in the text passages given, you're doing wrong by yourselves, you're being unfair to yourselves. Does that make sense, bacho? Okay, so what exactly are we looking for then? Facts that can be checked, such as figures and dates. Obviously, facts are extremely important. Facts are the first thing that you should be looking for. And just to make a point before we move on to the next point, facts is also the only thing that you need to be fixated upon when it comes to summary writing. We remember this, right? At least all the kids who took the class before, they remember that the only reason why you guys end up losing marks in a summary is mainly because you end up writing opinions or examples as well. Does that make sense? Do I make sense so far? Why do I feel like all of you are, not at the best of your, in the best of your mindset today? Are all of you with me? Zahara? Abdullah? Fania? Yes. Okay. Beta, I know you might be tired as well, but I'm not saying, Mom, we're not supposed to write dates. No, we're not. We'll only lead with facts. If date is part of a factual information, then you can, okay? But any sort of opinions, any sort of examples, any sort of bias, that is not supposed to be a part of summary writing. That is exactly why बच्चे they end up losing marks, okay? समरी का सबसे मेजर जो प्रॉब्लम होता है वो होता ही यही है कि you end up writing irrelevant information that is not needed. Okay, we'll revise this again, so inshallah this will make more sense. Okay, now जी बेटा,
what's the difference between a fact and an evidence?
Fact and an evidence?
Yes.
Well, there's a very in a manner of speaking, there's a very slight you could say difference between the two. देखो, fact is simply something that is true, something that can be verified, right? Whereas evidence is also something that is a fact, but it is something that you use to prove something or to support a claim, to make up an argument. Make sense? But in terms of evidence,
writing something like articles or something, how do we differentiate between the fact and the evidences?
But that becomes easy in terms of practice. That's not difficult. If it's something that's part of the topic's facts, you'll be able to differentiate between them. Inshallah, once we will practice, you'll be able to definitely understand this better. But this is not something जो जिसमें देखो, सबसे पहले तो you need to understand that there isn't a very huge difference between the two. For example, evidence can also be a fact which is objective. It doesn't necessarily have to be a universal thing only. For example, I could say I have the evidence that you ate my cookies because you have crumbs all over your mouth. Does that make sense? Now that is evidence, that is proof, and I am backing my argument using that proof, that evidence. Whereas mainly facts are such a thing that is generally universally accepted as a matter of fact, as a truth, and it can be verified. Make sense? Zara, are you able to follow? Okay. Chalo. Moving back to the topic at hand. Now, opinions which may be reasonable, but are somebody's viewpoint. Again, try to make sure and try to understand that any opinions that you're actually using or annotating particularly, these are those ones which are reasonable enough. They are somebody's view. This cannot be automatically treated as a fact, but it will come into your writing if that point is related to the task at hand, if that point fits the understanding of the criteria of the statement question. Make sense? Are we good to go? Then we have bias. Bias simply means where a certain writer maybe has an interest in the outcome, right? Now, for example, in terms of bias, you could say, let's suppose I read an article, right? I read an article and I read it and I'm convinced. So maybe I will think about this. Who wrote this? And what might they gain from convincing me? So in this case, when we go to the grocery stores, we have so many huge supermarkets around now. We have Imtiaz, we have Al Fatah, we have Carrefour. We go there and we come across many aisles with different grocery items, right? Let's suppose I go to the frozen food aisle and I want to try out a frozen food nugget pack or something of that sort. So maybe the KNN's representative might come up and they might tell me that you should only try KNN's perhaps because, and they'd start listing the benefits of it. So that's bias. Does that make sense? Do we understand that? So in terms of bias, the outcome is what we focus on basically. All right. For example, I could also say, let's suppose there's an owner of a private gym and this particular private gym owner has written something like this, maybe on social media or on, let's suppose, or in a newspaper or something of that sort, that maybe every teenager should have a gym membership. We should recognize possible bias because the owner will also financially benefit, right? But the owner is steering maybe the guardians and the teenagers towards the very benefits of a gym. They are biased because they are the gym owner, but they're trying to convince by logically creating an argument, but at the end of the day, they will benefit from the memberships that they will get. Does that make sense, guys? Do we understand? Are we good to go so far? Everyone? Okay. Then we have evidence. Evidence kya hota hai? Evidence that is thin, such as one example presented as a pattern. So now, dekho, just one example, and particularly an isolated example, it does not necessarily prove a general claim. Zaruri nahi hai, so that evidence is weak, right? So one student's experience cannot prove overall that maybe social media causes poor academic performance. Isn't that the case? Evidence requiring exact wording from text? Yes, exactly, Zara. And that needs to be developed. My intellect lagged. What are we studying today? Okay, you were not in class, Abdullah? We're trying to understand what to exactly look for in terms of selecting source material and using source material. All right? This is it, Abdullah. But developing is, Zahra, that simply means that we got an idea. We maybe have an idea, right? That we got from the passage, right? And we just took it apart and we actually are giving a critical analysis of it. We are critically taking it apart. Does that make sense? We're trying to explain further what is being suggested. Why is this thing important, not important, so on and so forth. Make sense? Do we understand? I hope you guys are following, because I kind of am not getting a lot of response from you guys today. I hope everyone is well. Not your ideas. You're building on the idea given in the passage. Maybe if you add an example with it, that's fine. But it is not your idea from the scratch up. Make sense? Does that make sense now? So if you end up giving your own idea only that has no basis in the text passages given, then no, you will not get any marks for those. All right? Good to go? All right. Now, ideas that appear in both texts and can be grouped. Acha, in this case, yes, Hasnan, beta? I think you're typing. Can we give ideas and opinion? देखो उसकी भी basis जो है ना वो the argument should be built from the passage even in terms of your opinion. Opinion जो आपका होता है ना mainly it has to stem from the argument you have created by amalgamating the points from both the text passages, particularly when it comes to discursive writing. Does that make sense? Is that understood, Hasnan? Okay. So, are we good so far? I hope everyone is following in class. Okay. Now, this is an extremely important point and I cannot stress on this enough. Ideas that appear in both texts and can be grouped. Now, in this case, you guys have to make sure that what you're looking at is the relationship between text A and text B. Let's suppose text A is about let's suppose it's about tablets, like iPads maybe. They save school money because digital textbooks are cheaper. They're a one-time investment. But maybe text B is about how these tablets are expensive initially, but may reduce textbook costs eventually. Now, both of these texts are discussing what? Cost effectiveness, right? That is the relationship between the two texts. So instead of then discussing them separately, you can actually group them together. The issue is cost. Let's suppose you will go ahead with the argument from text A, then you will have the argument from text B, and then you will have a comparison or an evaluation. Now, this would be one way of producing a much stronger response, but this would definitely depend on the question, the statement, and the passages given. Miss, can you share P2 classes as playlist have only one narrative class? Okay, Zahra, let me speak to you about this after the lesson, beta, okay? It has all the classes, but I'm not sure what's going on. I'll take a look at this, Zahra, okay? I'll inshallah revert back on all of this by tonight. Inshallah after my lessons, okay? Alright, okay. Acha, moving on. Then point 6. Points where the two texts genuinely conflict. Now, this is the place that you look for place where the writers directly disagree. For example, let's suppose text A talks about tablets improve students' concentration, whereas text B talks about that students would literally be distracted during lessons because they have a tablet in hand and that is a great distraction. So this is a direct conflict. Look for that point as well. And this could be an excellent material for your evaluation, because the student can, as you as the writer, you can then weigh the two arguments. Does that make sense? You could say something like this, that while digital devices may provide quicker access to educational information online, their potential to distract students cannot be ignored. Make sense? So now in this sense, you're using and evaluating the source material rather than repeating it. That is one way of developing a point, Zara. Were you able to follow? All of you? You did not just list the points down, you actually evaluated both of them together. So individual points from each of the sources coming together as one, that is what an amazing evaluation point looks like. Are we good to go? Do we follow? Guys? देखो, I told you Hasnain, I had 2 points, right? Text A maybe talks about the tablets, they improve students' concentration, or they can obviously provide them with material online that is needed. We have to separate the paragraphs, not necessarily depends on the statement. How to go about the answer depends on the statement and the very, you could say, content given in your paragraphs, all right? If it is something that can be grouped together, that can be written together, the argument can be built side, by all means do that. But if you think that's not an easy way for you, then yes, you can talk about text A, then text B, and then conclusion. Or you can talk about the paragraph that you want to lead, sorry, the text that you want to lead with. All right? Hasnain, do we follow? Okay. Now, okay, details that answer your reader's likely question. Obviously, this goes without saying. This is literally about your audience. Students should literally ask themselves, what would the person I'm writing to, what would they want to know? What is it that they are looking for? So let's suppose the task is about write a letter to your head teacher, giving your views on introducing tablets throughout the school. Now, the head teacher would probably care about what? The head teacher is the audience, right? So the head teacher would start off with cost. She will then go on to learning. अच्छा learning क्या हो सकती है इसमें? Then she'll go on to discipline. Then she will go on to understand the practicality of giving them tablets. Then she will also have in mind maintenance and obviously student safety as well. Cyberbullying and all that. So beta, that's an important point. Please always keep your audience in mind because you are writing for them. What would they want to know? Are we good to go? So we don't need random details about tablets only in 6 different forms, in 6 different ways across the entire directed writing task, because that's not what the examiner is asking of you. Your information should be select. It should be based on what the audience needs to know. And lastly, material that answers a bullet point directly. So obviously this again goes without saying, and I think this is the easiest selection rule. You understand the bullet points and you're able to actually select the information from the passages that will answer the select bullet points. So for example, if the bullet point asks you to evaluate, let's suppose, the advantages and disadvantages of introducing tablets in school, then anything in text A or text B that relates to that, cost, convenience, learning benefits, distraction, child safety, accessibility, maintenance, so on and so forth, all of that will make up your bullet point. Any sort of information that you think does not fit the statement of the question, you will ignore that. So not everything needs to go through. This is exactly why you need to be precise in your reading, in your understanding, and that's exactly what you're getting the 10 marks for. Do we understand? Any questions at all?
Yes.
Ji Zara, do you have anything to ask? So I'll give you guys a template. I like a poster. जिसमें I will give you guys, okay, it's okay beta, I will give you guys 6 questions that you need to ask yourselves, all right, before you start writing. And these questions you need to have a good idea about in terms of understanding both text A and text B. Hasnain, write your question beta, I'll answer it. So number 1, you will talk about the understanding of fact. Can this be verified? Opinion, is this simply someone's view? If it's an opinion and it's a weak opinion, ignore it, all right? Then you talk about bias. Does the writer have something to gain? Does it connect with my statement? Is it something that can uphold my argument? Will you give the examples of the attempts? They're all in this particular PDF, Hasnain. We'll be going through those tomorrow, inshallah, okay? All the model answers. And I will be giving you those as well, जो actually Cambridge ने भेजे हुए हैं. So I'll give you those as well. All right? Don't worry, you will get everything, beta. This weekend, you will have everything in your hands when it comes to directed writing. By the way, I know it's Eid Miladun Nabi tomorrow, but no holiday. All right? You all know this, right? I hope everyone has this in mind. Okay. Please, bachcho, no holiday tomorrow. We don't have a lot of time, and I'm most concerned about practice. Okay. Then I will. Then there would be a question you can ask yourself on strong evidence. Is there enough proof, or is it just one example? If it's just one example, again you ignore it. That cannot be the basis of your argument. Then agreement or disagreement. What exactly does the other text say about the same issue? What points contradict each other? What points come together in both texts? And then relevance. Does this actually help me answer my task, my bullet points, so on and so forth? Please make sure बच्चों that you stay relevant throughout. Any moment that you will get off the track, your writing becomes flat, and flat writing will not get you any marks. Do we understand? I will be sending you guys a template as well that you can try filling in to actually write good directed writing. You can take a printout of it, okay, all of you. Acha, anything at all that doesn't make sense so far? Anything that you would like to ask me? Guys, please, you need to be on the same page with me. Okay. And that's just two kids, Sarosh and Hasnain. What about the rest of you all? Combined practice. Inshallah soon, Abdullah. But mujhe ye bataye, did you understand all of this first? Practice can only be good once you have understood each and every concept, each and every technique. Practice will become halwa for you guys, okay? Don't worry about it. Just understand techniques that will actually get you that A star, okay? Alright. Acha, अब paraphrasing. Now, I cannot stress on the point of paraphrasing. Paraphrasing का जो point है ना, वो बहुत important होता है in our summary writing, in our short response, and in our directed writing. So ये सिर्फ directed writing का point नहीं है. Summary में भी I have reiterated upon this point over and over again कि बेटा please try to paraphrase your work. You are literally getting marks for using your own words. That's what it is for. Number one. Number two, paraphrasing does not mean at all that you will try to, force in synonyms for every word possible. That's not what we have to do, okay? We will only try to use synonyms for the major keywords that we believe would fit in that context, all right? If you feel like that you cannot come up with a certain synonym and then you force another wrong word in context, don't do that. It's better you let it be like that, okay? So using your own words does not mean finding a synonym for every word, like I mentioned. It means understanding the idea and saying it in the way your audience needs to hear it, basically. So paraphrasing isn't just about synonyms, it's also about literally changing your sentence structure as well. All right? That's fine too. So it literally tells you that as well. Change the structure of the sentence, not just its vocabulary, and keep the meaning exact. So in this case, we need to have a solid understanding of active and passive voice. Now we have already gone through active and passive voice. The new kids, however, were not in class. So if you go through the recordings in the previous lectures, you'll come across a certain lecture just maybe we went through active and passive voice, bacho. All right? Please make sure to go through that, okay? A paraphrase that shifts the meaning is worse than the original. So please, we are not changing the meaning here. So what is the source idea? Let's see. Tablets allow a whole department to update its material overnight, rather than waiting for a new print run. This is the source idea. Now, what is too close to the source or a weak way of doing it? Tablets allow a whole department to update material overnight instead of waiting for a print run. Do you guys see? It's very weak. What could be an effective paraphrase? Digital materials can be corrected as soon as something changes, which printed books cannot change until they are reissued. Do you guys see that? Read it carefully. Take 2 minutes, read it carefully on your own. The source idea, too close to the source, and effective paraphrase. Quickly, all of you. And then give me a thumbs up. Done? Hasnain and Vanya are done. Who else is done? Hamna is done. Who else? Zara is done. Gee, did you guys understand it though? Did it make sense? Did it make sense to all of you? Acha, ab how it could be used? Yes, Abdullah, please go on. Okay, it's okay. G, anyone has any questions to ask? No questions? Alright, let's move on then. Okay, so how it could be used? Support for the claim that digital resources stay current, then evaluate how often school material actually changes. So it basically is telling you, in a manner of speaking, they had given you the source idea. The basic meaning is simple. If you understand the basic meaning first, it's simple, that digital material can be updated quickly, whereas printed resources generally take longer time to replace, because it's a lot about paper and manual work, right? So when we paraphrased it, we said that material, it can be corrected as soon as something changes, whereas printed books or printed material, in this case they wrote, where is it? Yeah. So instead of this, they used the word printed books, right? You could also use printed material. You could also talk about printed instructions, so on and so forth. Make sense? And now, why is this better? Student was able to understand the original point, first and foremost. They changed the sentence structure. They changed the vocabulary naturally. The idea remains the same overall. And of course, they kept the meaning original as well. Does this make sense? And now, when this comes into view, how it could be used, this is where, in a manner of speaking, your evaluation comes in. That the source basically gives you evidence that digital resources, they are easier to update. So do not just repeat it or list it. Question its significance, its importance in context. Does that make sense? Now, what kind of evaluation do you think you guys can go do for it, like write for it? If I have to like evaluate it, develop it further, do you guys have any ideas? Obviously, we're talking about the importance of something, right? The digital media is better. This one, tablets wala point. I could say that maybe this is an advantage for subjects where information changes frequently, although it may be less significant for subjects where textbooks remains relevant for several years to come. Evaluation. We have given our reader an idea of what it significantly means. What does it mean when we say that tablets are better in terms of prints? You could also talk about how you can end up saving paper, electricity, right? Resources. Do we understand? All of us? So from this point, I went on from paraphrasing into evaluation. Zara, did you understand better?
Yes.
Acha. Let's take another example. 3 of the 12 tablets issued to my class last year stopped working within a term. Weaker paraphrasing is 3 of 12 tablets given to the class stopped working in a term. This is completely bogus. 3-4 words काट के वही चीज लिख दी है. Doesn't make sense. The effective one is a quarter of one class's devices failed inside a single term. We could talk about gadgets, right? Electronic gadgets. We could use that as well. Does that make sense? Now, in this manner, at the same time, the information remains the same. Now, read this part and this part. Does it make the same sense to you? Tell me, guys. Does it mean the same? Yes? Yes, it does, doesn't it? 3 of the 12 tablets. 3 of the 12 is a quarter, isn't it? So this is where you have to put on your thinking caps and think to the best of your ability that what can be the best way to portray this information on paper so that it doesn't seem like I'm repeating the same words. All right? So instead of copying, the 3, they used quarter, which is basically a quarter, na? Now, how it could be used? Evidence of reliability problems. This is evidence of reliability. So your evaluation will depend on that. Though it rests on one class, so treat the example with caution, क्योंकि हो सकता है ये एक किसी क्लास का मसला हो. जरूरी नहीं है कि this is something that has happened with the entire school body or the student body in the entire school, right? So this exactly is what we understood as thin evidence. Evidence that is not backed by the majority. Does that make sense? 12 में से भी 3 बच्चों की हुई. Do we understand, guys? Now this will depend on you whether you wish to use this as an evaluation point or not. But if you think this is a thin point and you have better evidence points given in the passage, you could evaluate those better. By all means, do those. Okay? So you cannot confidently just conclude. Your evaluation cannot be this कि अच्छा tablets are unreliable. No, because it's literally telling you my class inclusive है, right? And 3 tablets. Do you see this, guys? Are we following, बच्चों? So हमारा बेहतर evaluation क्या होगा कि although a quarter of the devices in one class reportedly failed within a term, comma, this small sample alone or this evidence alone cannot establish that tablets are generally unreliable. Do we understand what we mean by evaluation now? कि उस बात से समझ में क्या आता है? What is the point that we are fixated upon? इसका मतलब क्या बन रहा है? इसका मतलब क्या बन रहा है? Tablets are generally unreliable. But can I actually say कि अगर एक क्लास में 12 बच्चों की 3 tablets failed, so is that the case with the entire school and with every other class? Probably not, right? So this is my evaluation कि even though this happened with a quarter of the students in a certain class, we still cannot say or we still cannot make up our argument on this small sample because it does not establish the tablets being unreliable fully. Make sense? Gee, I want a response, guys. This is the most important point where you guys get stuck. Evaluation. और फिर बार बार you guys ask me कि मिस ये क्या है and I can explain it 100 times, but I would need you guys to please respond. मेरे बच्चों please बताओ. Are we good? Did we all understand whatever I told you guys at this point? जी हसनैन बताइए बेटा, खुल के पूछें. मुझे अभी तक हमना और वानिया ने कुछ बताया है कि ठीक है, हसनैन ने कुछ पूछना है शायद, अब्दुल्ला, सरोश, जहरा, what about you guys बच्चों? समझ नहीं आई तो पूछ लो, खुल के पूछो, खुल के पूछो. देखो मैं फिर से समझाती हूँ. कैन यू रिपीट द एविडेंस पार्ट? मैं फिर से समझाती हूँ. लेट्स टेक अ लुक एट दिस एग्जांपल अगेन. अब पूछो बेटा, फोकस रखो, ठीक है? ये नहीं समझ आया, डायरेक्टेड राइटिंग नहीं होगी, ठीक है ना? अच्छा देखो, मेरा पॉइंट था टैबलेट ब्रेकिंग डाउन. ऐसा ही है ना? एक क्लास है जिसमें 12 बच्चे हैं एंड आउट ऑफ दोस 12 किड्स 3 of the kids tablet stopped working within a term. टर्म कितना बड़ा होता है? 4 महीने का होता है, 4.5 महीने का होता है, ऐसा ही होता है ना? जैसे लेट्स सपोज इफ यू स्टार्ट क्लासेस इन सितंबर, दिसंबर में जाके जो है वो मिड टर्म्स हो जाते हैं. अगस्त में क्लासेस स्टार्ट होती हैं, दिसंबर में मिड टर्म्स हो जाते हैं ना. तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा भी 4 महीने का एक टर्म होता है. अब मैंने पहले तो उसको पैराफ्रेज किया, ठीक है? आई विल नॉट कॉपी पेस्ट द सेम इंफॉर्मेशन गिविंग इन द पैसेज. कॉपी पेस्ट जब मैंने पैराफ्रेज जब मैंने किया, so this is what I came up with. That a quarter of one class's devices failed inside a single term or in a single term. Make sense? Paraphrasing समझ आइए? Did we understand the paraphrasing? सरोश, हसनैन, अब्दुल्ला, जहरा. अब मैंने इस पॉइंट को evaluate करना है कि इसका मतलब क्या है. What does this mean for the school? क्या टैबलेट्स रिलायबल नहीं है? इसका मतलब है कि हमें टैबलेट्स नहीं इंट्रोड्यूस करवानी चाहिए? ऐसा नहीं है, क्योंकि ये थिन एविडेंस है. उसमें हमें बताया जा रहा है कि ये एक क्लास की बात है. माय क्लास मतलब 1 क्लास, राइट? ये पूरे स्कूल की बात नहीं है. वी आर नॉट डिस्कसिंग द एंटायर स्कूल इन दिस कैपेसिटी. इजंट दैट द केस? सो इवैल्यूएशन पॉइंट वुड बी, सिंपली स्पीकिंग, then according to this, what do you call it, according to this particular paraphrasing, we could say that although मैं मानता हूं या मानती हूं, a quarter of the devices in one class reportedly failed in one term or within a single term, comma, you have to put a comma because I'm starting my sentence with a conjunction. This does not mean that this small evidence, your small sample alone, can determine that tablets are generally unreliable. क्योंकि हो सकता है वो जो 3 बच्चों की टैबलेट्स फेल हुई हैं, हो सकता है उन्होंने एक दूसरे को उससे मारा हो सकता है उन्होंने पानी में फेंक दी हो सकता है उनसे जमीन में गिर गई हो. Who knows, right? So this is a thin piece of evidence that does not define that this is something that can be a fact. What's a fact, Hasnan? मुझे थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन करो बेटा your point. हाँ, ये फैक्ट है ना कि वो काम करना बंद कर गई, मगर हमें ये नहीं पता कि वो काम करना क्यों बंद कर गई. तो उसकी वजह से हम सारे टैबलेट्स को तो उठा के बाहर नहीं फेंक सकते ना. चलो मैं एक एग्जांपल देती हूँ. मुझे ये बताएं, I don't know a lot about cars, I'm not interested, but you guys would probably know. What is that one car जो बहुत नाजुक सी गाड़ी होगी, maybe luxury as well, but नाजुक सी. It can't withstand a lot of pressure. Can you name a car like that? Any one of you? Civic. अच्छा, Civic. Civic cannot. नहीं, एक मिनट. Civic cannot. What do you call it? Undergo pressure at all. तो Civic को अगर हम पहाड़ों में ले जाएं, तो there is a chance it will break down. Can it break down? Is it a chance? अच्छा. So let's suppose we talk about Civic then. अब देखो, मैं कहती हूँ कि Civic की कंप्लेंट्स आई हैं कि एक साल में 50 Civics broke down. So does that mean Civic is an unreliable car? Maybe, maybe not. अगर let's suppose एक कंट्री में 50 लाख Civics थी, ठीक है, उसमें से 50 broke down in 1 year. We do not know the reason why they broke down. So this evidence is not enough to stop the production of the Civics or to stop buying Civics. Maybe we were told beforehand कि उनको पहाड़ों में मत लेके जाना, but those 50 people at some point took those Civics in some rough terrain, ठीक है, rough areas में ले गए. They broke down. You know what I'm saying, guys? Got it now? हमें यहाँ पे रीजन नहीं पता. हमें बस ये पता है कि 12 में से 3 टैबलेट्स जो हैं वो खराब हो गई. But that is not enough evidence to stop using tablets in the school altogether. We don't know the reason. हो सकता है, वही मैं बार बार कह रही हूँ एज अ फनी टेक, कि जिन बच्चों की खराब हुई है, हो सकता है उन्होंने एक दूसरे को मारा हो अपनी टैबलेट से, तो खराब तो होना था ना. फिर कोई भी चीज खराब होगी. हो सकता है उनसे पानी में गिर गई हो टैबलेट्स, हो सकता है उनसे जमीन पे गिर गई हो. कैन वी ऐड रीजंस फ्रॉम आवर ओन आइडियाज? नो, you cannot bring in your own ideas, Zahra. Maybe examples at certain points, but no ideas of your own. Ideas need to come from the passages given. All right? G, did we understand this, bachon? Are we now understood on how to paraphrase and how to give evaluation? Easy peasy? Again, I'm not saying that this will be on your fingertips like this. This is where practice comes in. The first step is to understand technique or the concept. I did not get evaluation. Acha. Let me dedicate the last few more minutes to it, Zahra, okay? Let me just see what we can quickly do in this lesson and then we'll move on, okay, beta? मैं फिर से evaluation समझाती हूँ. अच्छा, copying a memorable phrase. Now, source texts often contain a phrase that seems too good to change. Lifting it unchanged into your own sentence does not show reading, and a run of such phrases will limit both the reading and the writing mark. If the exact wording genuinely matters, mark it as a quotation and then comment on it, explain it further. Otherwise, express the idea yourself. ये बहुत एक common mistake है जो बच्चे करते हैं कि यार ये तो this seems like a very good point. I will write it as it is. In directed writing, when you lift the point and you write it as it is without actually quoting it, you will end up losing marks. So either you paraphrase it or you make sure that you mark it as a quotation and you explain it further. Does that make sense? Summary mein, but you have to lead with facts entirely. Then summary cannot be on any sort of opinions or examples. ठीक है? उसमें से तो वो हमने हर relevant information निकाल देनी है. Okay? जी, do we understand? Everything good? So far so good? All right. So, 2 cautions. First, stay faithful to the source. ये देखो, ये बार बार बात मैं आपको बता रही हूँ. इस बात को तो अपने दिमाग में ड्रिल कर लो बच्चों. बार बार आप लोग भी मुझसे ये बात पूछते हैं तो मैं ये फिर से रिटेरेट कर रही हूँ कि आपने सोर्स के साथ फेथफुल रहना है. बिकॉज सोर्स इज योर एंटायर इंफॉर्मेशन बैंक. उसके अलावा अपने कोई ऑल टुगेदर न्यू पॉइंट्स नहीं बनाने. ओके, यू मे जज एन आइडिया. आप उस आइडिया के ऊपर इवेल्युएशन कर सकते हो, एग्री डिसएग्री कर सकते हो बाय गोइंग अबाउट इट इन एन इन्फॉर्म्ड मैनर, बट यू कैन नॉट मेक अप अ न्यू आइडिया ऑल टुगेदर जो टेक्स्ट में नहीं दिया हुआ. But you may not change what it says in order to make your argument easier. Second, do not invent evidence either. Evidence will also come from the text. Statistics, studies, and incidents that are not in the texts cannot be credited as source use. And an examiner reading a suspiciously precise figure will read the rest of the response more skeptically. कुछ ये ना बताएं कि जी 90% of the study says this blah blah blah. हो सकता है वो आपके टेक्स्ट में दिया हुआ ही ना हो. Your examiner will flag it. All right? Are we understood? Good to go. Your own reasoning is welcome, which is your evaluation. अच्छा, अब मैं evaluation फिर से बता देती हूँ क्या थी. अब जैसे अब अच्छा, सबके कान खुले हुए हैं इस वक्त. Everyone is focused. I need a yes in the chat box. I need a yes in the chat box. Is Zahra in class? मुझे लगता है Zahra has left again. देखो, Zahra is not in class, तो ठीक है, फिर we will not go through this क्योंकि I was doing it for him.